Yo, what's up, guys? Mike here, owner of Mac Financial Group, and we are back with part two of our job costing series. Thanks for coming back. If you're liking our videos, please subscribe. Click the alerts button at the bottom so you can see when we're posting. Again, we're going to be posting every Sunday. We're starting off with mainly QuickBooks tips, but we're going to be changing it up. So make sure you're coming back, seeing what we have to offer. And I just wanted to say, I hope everybody's staying safe and healthy out there. If you're watching this video later than 2020, go back and check the news out. It's a crazy world we're living in right now. And I just wanted to say to just support your local small businesses. It's really tough for them right now, and a lot of people are struggling, I know, but one way we can really help is go out. If you have your favorite place to eat or your favorite place to go shopping or whatever it is, just make sure you're going out, referring them to other people that are coming in from out of town or other people in town that may not know them. It really helps them a lot. They work really hard, and we want to see everybody get through these tough times without too much struggle. So, all right. So to the video, this is going to be about budgets and how to use QuickBooks Online to create a budget by job and track compared to actuals in real time. So without further ado, let's dive into the video and see how it's done. All right, guys, so part one, we created our first project where we saw how to put actuals to it. You can see how you're doing as you're going and spending your money or earning your money on that project. So this video, we're going to focus on creating a budget and make sure we're sticking to that budget. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go up to this gear icon and go to the budgeting section. So if you haven't used the budgeting section yet, you're not going to see anything other than add budget. So click add budget, and this is where we'll fill out the criteria for the budget. So first thing we're going to do is name it. I'm going to name it Joey's Kitchen Budget, so I know clearly that it's for that project and it's the budget for that project. You can name it whatever makes sense for you and whatever you'll remember. And we're going to choose 2020 for fiscal year because that's when the project's happening. And now we can select our interval. So you can do monthly, quarterly, or yearly for this. I like using monthly. It gives you the most control over your budget. But you can do a yearly budget if you think it's going to take all year to do a project. And you can put in, say, $12,000 for services for that project. What it will do is it'll divide $12,000 by all the months. So you'll put $1,000 in each month. January, February, March, April. Every month will have $1,000 in it. Or you can do quarterly if it's going to be a 3-month project and you want to just put in $3,000 that you're going to earn or $3,000 that you're going to spend in January to March. What it'll do is put $1,000 in January, February, March. So again, if it works for you, that's what I wanted to show you. But I think a lot of people are going to have and use the monthly tool a lot more. Again, you have a lot more control on just putting in exactly how much you're going to make, and you might earn more in certain months or spend more in certain months, and the monthly interval is going to allow you to put that in. You can pre-fill data from actuals. It probably won't pertain to you guys, but just so you know it's there, you can take actual data from a prior year, drop it in the budget, and utilize that as your basis. But for this video, we're not going to do that. We're going to start it from scratch. And the most important part is selecting the project. So we're going to subdivide by customer, and then we're going to select the project, Joey Barton's Kitchen, that we just created in the project section. So now we're making sure that this budget is linked to that project that we created, and the budget associated is now going to be able to compare to the actuals as we put it to Joey's Kitchen project. So once we have all that criteria filled out, we're going to hit next, and now we can put in the amounts. So a couple features in here that you need to be aware of. QuickBooks Online only allows you to do budgets on a calendar year basis, so January to December. So if you have a project that spans over another calendar year, so November, December, January, February, you're going to be working on a certain project, you are going to need to create 2 budgets, one for November and December and the other one for January and February. So just keep that in mind. It's just adds a couple more steps to it, and you can still view it the way you need. But a lot of my clients don't understand how to do that, and just don't understand that QuickBooks can't do a budget overlapping a calendar year. Another thing is, another quick way to fill this information out is maybe you're just going to spend $1,000 every month. So you can put $1,000 in and click this little arrow over, and it's just going to autofill everything for you. It's another quick way to do it. But we're not going to do that for this video. We know what months we want to put the information in at. So let's say Joey's kitchen is going to be a 2-month project. It's going to start in May. It's going to end in June. So we're going to say we're going to earn $5,000 in May and the rest of the $10,000 in June. And then in that time frame, we're going to spend $3,000 on material and labor in May and another $3,000 in material and labor in June to do the project. I'd recommend splitting your materials and labor into 2 separate cost of goods sold account, cost of goods sold material, cost of goods sold labor, and you do that in the chart of accounts section. We'll go over that in a later video. For simplicity purposes and just show you the budget feature, we're just going to do it this way. But again, look out for a video on how we should set up our chart of accounts for more meaningful reporting. So where we're at now is we put in our income, we put in our expenses for this project. So we're just going to do save and close. And now you'll see that project or that budget shows up in your budgeting section. So say you step out, you need to add some expenses on your banking section, or you need to do other things in QuickBooks, that's fine. Now you know you can go back up to the gear icon, go into budgeting, and your budget's right there. So now we want to compare this to actuals as it comes through, and we're going to need to create a custom report to do that. So one way to do that is go into the report section, and under the standard section, business overview, you're going to see this budget versus actuals report. So what we'll do here is you need to first make sure that you're pointing to the correct budget. So eventually you're going to have multiple budgets that you're going to want to compare to. So when you go through that section, it doesn't know what budget to choose. So you're going to select the budget that you're trying to create a report for, and then you'll do customize. An easier way, I think, and to make sure you're selecting the right budget, is go back up to the budgeting section, and you can actually, on the budget you want to create a report for, on this drop down right here, you can run the budget and actuals report right here. And that'll just ensure that this budget is selected for you. Now there's all this extra information that we don't want to view. So that's where some customization comes into play. So we're going to choose this customize button on the top right. And what that's going to do is you're going to show grid, and we're going to choose accounts versus total. And that's just going to give us total actuals spent versus total budget spent. And we're going to see the accounts that we spent that money in. And then in the filter section, we only want to see one project. So we're going to click the checkbox next to customer and select Joey Barton Kitchen to make sure those are the only actuals and the only budget numbers that we see in this report. There's a couple other things you can do here. You can do a cash or accrual. You can change the report period if you know it's only through these months. You can also do a couple cool things in the header and footer. A lot of this stuff comes pre-filled as long as your accountant settings are all set up right for like name of company and report title and all that stuff. I like to add show logo. It shows it up in the top left of the report, makes it look a little more professional. So explore those options, but the two I said, this show grid section and this customer section, are the most important parts for viewing this report the way you want. So click run report once you have everything done. And what you'll see is that condenses it. Now we're only looking at Joey's Kitchen, the actuals that we put to that report in the last video, or this project in the last video, and then the budget that we just input. So now we can see, okay, we are earning the amount we expected based on the budget, but it looks like actuals we went over by $1,000, and that made it so that we only earned 8,000 compared to the 9,000 we thought we were going to earn on this project. So this budget should actually be created right after you create your estimate and you create your project, so that as you start to add your actuals in, you can run this report whenever you want and making sure you're staying on budget. And to save this report, you need to hit Save Customization. If you don't click Save Customization, you're going to have to do all those other steps that we just went through over again. So make sure you save your customization, and we're going to name this something easy as well. So Joey's Kitchen Total Actual versus Budget, and hit Save. So now that we saved that report, whenever you want to run and see how you're doing for the total project, you can click on Reports and go to Custom Reports, and that custom report you just created is going to be available right here. So you can click right in. It's going to bring you back to all those custom settings you just set, and you'll always be able to see as a total project how you're doing. Another view that my clients like, and especially for projects that span over multiple months and you just want to see how you're doing month to month, if you go back into Customize and instead of doing accounts versus total, you do accounts versus months and run report, now you're going to see a month by month view versus budget. So now you can see, okay, in May we actually earned the full 15,000, even though we expected to earn 5,000 in May and 10,000 in June, and we spent the full $7,000 in May, where we expected to spend 3,000 in May, 3,000 in June. So maybe we got done the project early, or whatever the case may be. Now, even if it spans over multiple months, you're going to be able to track it month to month and make it easier. You can export these to Excel or to PDF if it's easier for you to view that way. I like exporting them to Excel, especially in a monthly view, because I can easily condense it. But I'm just used to Excel, so whatever you're used to. But again, once you change that customized, want to make sure you're saving again. So we're going to save this customization, and we're going to name it Joey's Kitchen Monthly Actual versus Budget, and we're going to save. And now if you go into your report section and custom reports, you'll see both are here whenever you want to view them, however you want to see the status of your project. It's always available here now. You can pull it up on your phone while you're out at the job site and check how you're doing whenever you want, and you won't have to redo that. So it's a couple extra steps at the beginning, but I really think it's important. It's making sure you're planning. It's making sure that as the actuals come in, you know exactly how much you want to spend and how much you want to make, and you're staying on track. So this is the difference between a company that really makes it and goes far and a company that always struggles to hit their numbers and they don't understand why. So it's really important, I think. And as you can see, it didn't really take us that much longer to do this. So I really do think it's important. And if you do this for every project, I promise you will hit your budget way more often than you ever have before. So, all right, if you like this video, and if you think it's helpful and you think you're going to start using it, please hit the like button below. And I will see you guys next week for part 3. Thank you.